The SmartLabel tool in gCADPlus has been used to apply labels to the plant symbols in this particular design. For example, if I pick this label here and then I pick the symbol alongside, can you see if we look down in the properties box, that's label Weigelia or Weigelia florida in one particular variety. But you'll notice that the names of the species here, which have been placed with the SmartLabel, are a little bit too big. We'd like to reduce the text height in these. And if I select the actual label, you can see it's been drawn with the leader command and in a leader style called standard. So let's have a look at the dimension style, and there is only one dimension style in this drawing. And if we have a look at the text height is 500. So one very quick way to reduce the size of the text in these leader labels done with the SmartLabel tool is just to say, let's halve the size of those pieces of text, and I'll type a new label in, hit OK, and you'll see that all instances of that lettering style done with the leader command update. What doesn't update is the label that was put in using the line option in the SmartLabel tool. I'll just run through the SmartLabel tool and show you that. Let's use the SmartLabel tool. We'll put a new label in for the Weigelia. So we look down in the command area, and let me make the command area a little larger. Look down there at the bottom of the line, it says select the symbol and then enter for the next step. So this is the symbol for the Weigelia. Hit enter, I'm prompted. I select, do I want a label with a leader or a line, and this has been the leader is the default, so I hit enter again. The first point of the new label is there. Then I'm asked, do I want to pick up the code from the plant database file? I'll say no. Do I want the botanical name? Yes, I do. Do I want to pick up the common name? No, I don't. So I'm just working with the labels down there in the status line. Do I want to count individual or adjacent ones, so I can count various instances of the Weigelia species? I'll say no to that, and you can see the label goes in, and I right click to finish, so that label's gone in. But you'll also notice, I think, that the arrowhead looks a little too large, so we can fix the arrowheads by going into dimension style and coming to geometry, and we'll halve the height of the arrowheads, and they should all update in a moment, and they do. To fix this one, which was done by choosing line rather than leader, you can see there's no arrowhead on the end of that line. That's just a matter of picking the text and doing it in that way. That reduces it, and we're done. So in very quick time we can adjust the height of the text in the drawing. I'd like to make some other changes in this drawing, and I might make another movie to illustrate that. But if we can use our SmartMatch properties tool and pick, see this one down here, it's been done with the line command, so I can pick that piece of text and match properties from one to the other. So I hope that helps in the first instance. That's a mechanism for quickly adjusting the height of text where you've used the SmartLabel tool. My criticism of this is that if I pick any of the text now, a colour has been set, and if you set colour implicitly like this, it doesn't give you much scope. I'd quite like to have a softer piece of text, and it's also had a line weight of 30mm set to it. I'd like a much sharper way. So I might try and make another movie where I'll isolate all the text on the SmartLabel layer and change the properties of the text to see if I can get what to me would be a slightly better result. The SmartLabel tool puts every piece of text that is created with the SmartLabel tool on its own layer, SmartLabel. What I'd like to do is to, as I mentioned, is to adjust some of that text. So I'm going to use another gCADPlus tool. I'm going to isolate all of the entities on the layer L-SmartLabel, and we'll OK it. That turns off everything other than entities on that layer. So you can see there's some wonderful work done here labeling all these symbols, but for mine the symbols are a little too heavy, and so what I'm going to do is select all of those, and I'm going to change the color to by layer, and I'm going to change the line weight to by layer. What that means is that I can now control the color and line thickness of everything on that layer by using the layer option, which if we go back to all use layers here, see they're all turned off at the moment. The SmartLabel layer is the only one that's on. So I can say, well, for line weight, I want it heavier than 000. I want it around about 0.15, and I'll OK that. And I'd like my colour set, let's say to colour 252, and I'll OK that. So now those have that information that we just applied has now been applied. So I've got it fairly soft. I can still read it, but there's soft labels and going to be distinguished quite easily from the proper design. So let me now just turn on all the appropriate layers and you'll see what I mean. Well, I hope you agree now that we have a little finer detail then, and I think the text stands out reasonably well. We can always darken it a little more if we want to by going to layers, and that information is here. So it's currently 252, so we could bring it to 251, and as we zoom in, there we go, things have already darkened up. So you can ring the changes really, really easily to suit yourself, and it is going to depend on the sheet size that you are working with.